Welcome to another edition of From the Pit, bringing you everything from pre-post symphonic grind lullabies to Manifest Destiny charged sludge polka.
How the fuck did you remember that?
Because I'm good. Because I'm Frank.
He listens to it every fucking day.
Yeah. This is...
Ron.
Mikey.
Phil, do your goddamn research, Ron.
Yeah.
Christ, why are
How
we
else?
even doing this show?
I mean, without research, how would we know the brutal news?
He's too busy with Fallout.
I'm
See,
too listening.
Segues. That's,
Like a sir.
It's what we ride around on.
you know, I think we're going to start with Danzig taking out the motherfucking trash.
That's, yes.
So
this contention, to say the least. I mean, a lot of people are just calling him an asshole.
the photographer, correct?
Well, yes, the
Yeah, right.
photographer is most certainly calling him an asshole, and opinions seem to be kind of divided. But as I mentioned before, I think getting upset about this when you know...
Objectively speaking, what happened, though, for those who might not be informed?
Oh, true, yes. So, I'm sure you guys have heard multiple times over the past few months of Danzig throwing down over people taking photos at his shows.
All around being a badass.
Yeah, I mean, the man's in his fucking 50s, and he's whomping the shit out of these kids. But, the story goes, some fucking guy posts pictures of himself all bloodied up, claiming Danzig and all of the guards kicked his ass for taking a photo. There's so many different angles to it.
Mm-hmm.
What seems to be the most consistent thing from a lot of other people who were there is that the dude was warned multiple times, was causing a nuisance all night, came back to the venue, then got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Reportedly by Danzig himself.
Yeah, who apparently, gave the boots to a medium style, apparently.
Yes, apparently kicked him in the ribs.
Yeah.
In the ribs.
But, like, if you're not a professional photographer, or...
If you're not hired by either the venue or Danzig's staff, just don't pull out a goddamn
This is
camera.
no, like, he's done this before.
Yeah.
Knowing that, don't do it! Unless you want to get your ass beat.
I mean, and in all fairness, that fucking shitty video you're taking, that garbage-ass picture you're taking, are never going to be as good as the shit that's already being professionally shot. Nor are you likely to ever go back and look at it anyway. When have you ever been at a show and filmed it on your shit fucking phone and gone back and been like, ooh, let me watch this shitty 30-second clip that I filmed on my fucking iPhone?
I remember, like, didn't like a few months back, we did a story about Danzig choking out a guy who tried to, like, sneak on his bus or something like that.
Yeah, that
Like,
guy was, that guy's notorious for starting incidents,
okay,
though.
so, but this isn't the same guy, right?
No,
Okay.
different guy. I
Danzig
think this
really
is...
just-
This
Different
is,
guy, same result.
Same result. Knock the fuck out.
Look, getting upset
Danzig
about this,
motherfucker.
it's like going to a G.G. Allen show and getting upset that he threw his feces at you.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what you're getting into.
Yeah. You know?
If you're going to be in the front row, know what the fuck the band is about.
If they're about throwing
Otherwise,
their
leave
shit.
that space for the fans.
If you're about throwing their shit, you should be up on that, you know?
That's it. That's it. That's all that
I'm
needs
sorry,
to be
I
said
can
on
never
the
take
topic.
G.G. Allen, like, super seriously. That's
Well, he
all
was a
topic.
raging dickbag.
He was a fucking...
In other news, Doro Pesch, German metal queen, is crowdfunding for a new music video, Love is Hell, or Going to Hell. The band also got done up in figurines recently, so they're doing well in Germany. I've never really heard of them until now.
I can't say I'm familiar, and maybe that's bad of me. I don't know.
I checked out one of the tunes. I mean, it's like straight up like like heavy metal, like rock and roll sort of stuff. I mean, it's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
something worth talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
apparently.
In other news, so we have all been saying that, you know, albums don't really sell. That's not your main money maker anymore.
Right.
And all these old heads have just been like, people don't buy albums anymore. Well, one of them, Phil and Son Pantera, realizes this, instead of bitching about it, uses it as advice for future musicians. He said, don't worry about album sales. tour. That's how you make your money now.
Specifically, get out and gig.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, it's... The scene has had to evolve and adapt through so many different things. The fact that you still get some of these guys like Kerry King holding on so tightly to the idea of album sales.
Personally,
like, dude,
I kind of feel like depending on your album sales to make money is it's kind of lazy.
Yeah, it's never been the biggest moneymaker for bands.
It's never been, but I feel like expecting it to be is just a lazy mentality. It's like, I want to make money because I made this and people like it forever.
You're a performing artist. I mean,
play your shit.
Authors tour around these days because they need to do the book signings and they need to do the interviews and they need to make the extra capital.
Yeah. And at the same time, give something back. You're giving a performance, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That's
you're investing in your
audience.
Investment.
Yeah. It just makes sense. So,
but yeah.
I'm glad we got an old head saying
these
something.
wise words came from whom? Phil Anselmo?
Of all.
Out of all the fucking people in the world, Phil Anselmo's the guy to say, don't worry about it.
Hey, you know what, though? I want to do a little fun fact.
What's that?
So, how much money do you think Black Sabbath spent on cocaine in 72?
A lot.
This is 1972, so, you might be thinking... $1,000 was a lot at the time. $5,000 was a lot of money at the time.
Keep this in perspective. They were given $60,000 to record the album.
Oh my god!
They spent $75,000 on cocaine.
$75,000?
$7,500. No, grand.
They came up with more money for more coke.
Yeah, and then just recorded the album with other money.
Ozzy himself was quoted.
Where the fuck did they get that money from?
Ozzy said at one point, I didn't know where it was coming from anymore.
Yeah. Now, for also translation, that would be the equivalent of almost $500,000 worth of cocaine today.
For 1 year.
For one group of people, one person.
It's what led to some of the guys
to quit,
cleaning up their act.
Geezer Butler apparently said he was on coke. Someone then dropped acid into his drink, amongst other things, and then he tried to jump out of a window.
Jesus.
They had to hold him down.
So is that like the equivalent to like parents find their kids smoking, so they make them smoke a whole pack, so he never wants to do it again? But
I suppose it didn't
we're gonna
work
get
for
you more.
Ozzy, though.
So fucked up.
Oh
boy, that's a lot.
All right, so.
It's so much. That is so much cocaine.
It would just be. It'd be like if you just filled this whole
studio
just from floor to ceiling with cocaine and just one long crazy straw going from the fucking all the way up the steps and just.
Instead of marathon running, there's marathon snorting.
Oh
what the
God.
fuck, dude?
I really don't understand.
How do you not OD? How do you not?
White Zim sprint.
There's so many things wrong with that.
Why
coke?
I don't know.
Because it's classy.
I guess. Classy.
I don't think that's what they were thinking, but.
So for all the closet nerds out there, we know you metalheads and your dirty little secrets. Hop on over to Toilet Hell and check out the Metal Gathering expansion packs, where they will take classic acts and slap them on magic cards for jokes.
With funny abilities.
For the lols.
I didn't even know about that.
Oh, yeah, it's...
I missed that.
How? We tell you about this.
No, you didn't.
But it was...
I know, but I missed it. I missed it while scrolling through. Fuck it.
Magic the Gathering.
So Lamb of God's, one of the newly released songs, was used on a trailer for a Game Show Network game. Game Show Network?
Yeah.
That's what GSN means.
You didn't realize?
No. Know what it's called? Elevator. It's pretty much a haunted house, game show.
Oh, is it are they monetizing on those pranks that people do in elevators?
Pretty much. No, they every floor apparently has a challenge.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they have to go through, and there's pretty much a haunted house.
Obstacle course, haunted house type deal.
Which I feel like I'd be really good at this.
Well, guys.
Oh yeah.
Lamb of God's made it.
Yeah.
Log,
we made it.
It's a duel.
We made it.
It's a duel. It's promoting the show and their new album, which made me kind of sad.
And I feel like
Cringeworthy.
I'm not sure whether we had this conversation on camera or not, but I feel like it harkens back to something you've said before, where it's like cool to start hearing actual metal in like.
I didn't ever mean Game Show Network.
I know,
No.
but not,
Reality.
Or Lamb of God.
Enough.
No.
Jerk-offs.
So let's go to
Shut
Hot
up,
Off the
squirrel.
Press.
Born of Osiris.
New album out.
Yes.
Soul Sphere.
I'm a bit hesitant.
I am too. But I've only listened to one track, so I have no real reason to be hesitant yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have to give it a check. Check it out.
Vhol is releasing Deeper
Check
Than
it
the
out,
Sky.
Dr. Steve Rule.
Oh, Jesus.
Volt's sweet.
Yeah.
Vhol is sweet.
Deeper than the sky.
Hammerfall has like a mini documentary coming out.
Yeah.
What?
It might be on Blabbermouth, or is it going to be a release?
This is something I'm gonna have to watch.
Yeah.
Pretty stoned. Too.
Power metal. Either you're a fan of it or it's a fucking guilty pleasure. Let's all be honest here. No one who's into metal truly hates power metal, and Hammerfall is the the cheese of the cheese.
Like we were saying with the classics, as metalheads, a lot of us are nerds. So when you're incorporating those fantasy elements into our beloved music, yeah, I get a boner.
Oh, you're all right.
Let's cut to a clip.
A battle boner.
A clip of what?
Meat spin. As our editor just walks out the door like it's no big
He's
deal.
gone.
Joey Jordison of Slipknot.
Yeah.
Slipknot.
Completed a new album with
That guy.
Kato Kadwala. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how to fucking.
If that means anything to anybody.
We're really on top of things.
No.
Ron just totally doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And
Well, I mean, I do know that it's not with Slipknot.
And Jordison is a solid drummer. Bottom line. So honestly, I like.
Is he drumming on that one, or is it?
Again, I don't know what's going
He's-
on here.
He just see like I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
the pinnacle of journalism, ladies and gentlemen,
Fucking.
right here.
Well, hopefully,
You will find none better.
our
Nothing.
editor in chief will help us out here.
He won't do shit.
Nah.
No.
Yeah, he'll just leave only this part in.
Just stick another stick lady baby over Ron again.
That's cute.
Everyone will.
See, hopefully that'll match up like I'm
TLDR, he's got a new release coming out.
All right.
All right. So
So-
that's how we do our research here on From the Pit.
It's very professional.
Don't think anyone can just up and
Like-
do this.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's one of those things like you're thinking like, hey, I can do that. You probably fucking can't. You don't have the work ethic.
Oh god.
So, with the dead.
With the Dead, that's going to
Yes.
be some Napalm Death and Cathedral with
Ooh.
Tim Bradshaw from Electric Wizard, Mark Greening.
I
Lee
really like
Dorian.
wanna check this
Lee
out.
Dorian's fucking awesome. Lee Dorian's great. I love everything he
We
does.
checked out that With the Dead. It's exactly kind of what it sounds like. Like, you know, the Electric Wizardy sort of riffs with, you know, maybe more little black metal-y type vocals.
All right.
It's cool.
I like
no, it
Napalm
is
Death,
cool.
so this is.
I like
that's
Electric
cool.
Wizard.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
Yes.
What,
It all
With the
works.
Dead, check it out.
oh yeah, totally.
Now, it's time for our headline topic.
Headline topic. Okay. So this one kind of found its way to me. I ended up in a discussion recently over an article posted about how the guy who ran Mayhem Fest is essentially working with the people who do Ozfest, and there's the potential that it'll be rebranded and we will see the return of Ozfest.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, there's the initial, like, okay, great, it's the return of Ozfest. Then you gotta think about it, though. Mayhem Fest, which was failing,
Yeah.
wants to get together. Now, for anyone who's not aware, Ozfest, I think it was 2010?
Something around there.
I don't remember exactly. It may have been earlier.
It might have been earlier.
What I do know is that they called it quits because they weren't pulling in the numbers.
Yeah.
It wasn't making the money. They became a once-a-year festival in Japan. So
Really?
that is who is supposed to come and save Mayhem Fest.
Okay. So when I first heard this topic, I wasn't sure where the discussion lied, but I want to kind of take Mayhem's side a little bit here and say that at least from a business aspect, it has potential.
It's a better idea
strictly from a business, like, okay, because like the way I'm thinking about this, there's two sides to it. There's the artistic integrity side to this whole argument, and then there's the business, fiscal, like, can I make money out of this side?
Okay.
And like when people hear Ozfest, they in America, you know, like we haven't heard that name in a few years. Like it has, like, it's garnered almost like a nostalgia effect with with certain crowds. So I'm willing to bet that at least for the first like few runs of this new revitalized thing, they're probably going to start pulling out some numbers again, just because of the whole rebranding and
they might. They might.
I was gonna say I don't know if they will.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why Ozfest and something that was good before is because some of the mainstream acts that would get put onto these bills were good.
Yeah, but there's also the whole aspect of Ozfest, and it launched a lot of just as many bands as careers did have like huge headliners.
Sure,
you know, there were bands that wouldn't have hit the mainstream the way they did without Ozfest.
You know who's probably gonna be at Ozfest in modern days? Butcher Babies, something like that.
So here's the problem. Well, there are quite a few problems. But let me start out with the fact that the touring festival is going away.
Yeah.
And there's good reasons for it.
Mm-hmm.
There are too many good destination festivals now. There's one near almost everybody. And for the people who don't have one near them, they're usually in areas that Ozfest wasn't hitting anyway. So when you have This Is Hardcore right in Philly, you've got Infest, which happened, you know, twice in the last year in Philly. You've got Maryland Death Fest. You've got the New England Metal and Hardcore Fest. You've got Housecore Horror.
Mm-hmm.
Even Slipknot, who would have been one of the headlining bands for a festival like this, realized that it's a better idea. They've got Knotfest now, which is their own 3-day destination festival. Part of the problem here also lies in the fact that for the run of Ozfest, from like 2000 up until roughly around 2010, metal had a mainstream pull. There was trends. We had new metal and we had metalcore. The reason that brought so many people in is because there were casual fans. Most of those casual fans have moved on now. So even if you manage to get a bulk of the core audience back, is it still going to be enough to really fund a festival that has to transport all of these bands across the country?
I get what you're getting at now. All right.
Not only that, but I thought what was more of a feat on their part to overcome would be getting the right concoction of bands away from their personal tours, because it seems like everybody's doing what they need to do when they need to do it, sort of, and that's what's working more for the individual static.
It's part of what's
festivals.
Yeah, that's part of what's great about it is, you know, it's much easier for a band to be like, well, this tour schedule works out for us really well, but we can plan it so that we're in this city on this date.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas otherwise, you're dealing with the booking agents for the fest and all this other shit, and you have to worry about, do our fans want to come out to this? A lot of the time, if you're only a fan of one or two bands, maybe even three of the bands there, you're probably not going to want to buy a festival ticket, especially because the touring festivals across the board are more expensive.
Wait.
Yeah.
All right. I rescind my position, I guess. I don't know. I feel like you definitely did bring up some very kind of common sense points there. Like, which is cheaper, which has more of
I think we get to
ability to like actually give you satisfying lineups. Like
I think this is an instance where we actually get both the good ends of artistic integrity and business model, because it's like the model is going to have to reflect something that sells. And right now, metal is so spread across the board that it's like you either give the people what they want or you don't run the festival.
And that's part of the beauty of the 1 day or 2 or 3 day, but the single location festivals are also usually catering to more of a niche market. You know, Maryland Death Fest, they don't have to worry about, oh, well, what about fans of the Butcher Babies, and what about fans of this and that? No.
You guys, I want to like make a compilation of every time we said the Butcher Babies.
Okay, well, they also don't have to worry about booking Avenged Sevenfold to draw in the numbers.
Yeah. No, you're right.
They get to book exactly what they want, and because they get...
No, but you're right. He's right. You don't have that guy up top who isn't in touch with the community making decisions.
It's not corpo metal.
And
it's not a corpo metal show.
And you look at Maryland Death Fest, they get bands who come from all over the fucking planet to come here for that one thing. So people travel from all over the coast, all over the country.
Sand came from Japan, like
just for This Is Art. Well, no, I don't know if they. I think they played a few other shows, but they did a small tour.
Yeah,
like a small East Coast
run. This Is Hardcore was probably a huge proponent in that decision.
Yeah, honestly, like all right, like the game has changed. Is basically what we're getting at.
Essentially, yes.
It's like
not for the worse either.
Yeah,
just different. Just different.
It's evolving. And it's a system that's working out its kinks. Like 20 years ago, a moving festival was cool because you didn't have the local festivals to go to.
You didn't have the local festivals. Shows were probably much more infrequent.
I don't know about that.
I think it varies from scene to scene. I think if you were near a major city, there were always shows. But you know, I mean, I agree to some extent. Yeah, it would be more of a thing too, like I mentioned before, where some people might not be in areas where there's any of this happening, but at that point in time, the only big thing that was coming through that was worth their travel time was something like Ozfest. Even if they only wanted to see 25% of the bands, that's still more than they were going to see.
Exactly, because they weren't getting anything beforehand. Yeah, so it's just like the game is changing, the monster is evolving, like it's more Mayhem Fest and Ozfest need to try and maybe build like a stadium and have a set area for their festival.
What seems kind of funny to me is that the people coming in to save this are the people who gave up on a touring festival and became a once a year festival in Japan.
Is that irony?
So, and don't get me wrong, I would love to see Ozfest come back in all of its glory and just be the huge kick-ass fucking festival that everyone loves. I think it would be wonderful. I'm not trying to put them down at all.
I want it to be just as much, but I'm pretty sure it's going to end up being a lot of radio metal.
Probably. And I mean, who knows? Maybe, like you said, I do think there's the possibility that for the first year, maybe 2, there's going to be a lot of the nostalgia. A lot of people are going to come back, but I think...
they might even get a good lineup.
They might even get a good lineup or two, but the same way that they did in the past, I'm sure the lineups are going to start fading. They're going to start becoming less and less impressive, and the audience is going to fall.
And someone had mentioned to me, like, well, you know, everyone has their favorite Ozfest. Like, oh, if they just brought back all of those bands... all of those people would go to see it again. It's like, yeah, but it's not just the people who loved it who paid for that. It was all the casual fans who aren't going to come back. And there was the argument of, well, you know, what Ozfest always did that Mayhem didn't was they were ballsy enough to go for all these different acts and go for the big names. Yeah. I mean, the problem is Ozfest was able to do that because it was bringing in the people and it had the money to do it. They stopped because they didn't anymore. Exactly. So how are they going to salvage it?
Time will tell.
It's going to be tough.
Time will tell.
I guess my last thing on the whole thing is like my one and only Ozfest I went to was stacked with acts I wanted to see, and they were all second stage acts, right? So like if they can't get it back to the heyday, the golden age, then it's not gonna. It has no chance.
I feel like second stage always was the best.
It was so good. When it was good, it was great.
it's going to be tough when you don't have that same sort of trend right now. There's nothing big for them to latch on to.
So are we seeing a potential demise of touring festivals?
For the time being, I think that's a real possibility. Until we get another big trend that's big enough that it gets most of the metal community and also pulls in a lot of casual listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Until that happens again, and it will, but until that happens, I don't think the touring festival is going to be the way to go.
Hellfest was static, right?
I believe so.
Because that was one of the big ones back in the day for like hardcore metal
Yeah.
and indie music.
All right.
Before we I feel a little responsible for our poor broadcasting earlier on the Slipknot thing. So I looked into it while we were talking about this main topic, and even they don't know who Joey Jordison is going to release this next track under, whether it's Scar the Martyr or another project.
Okay.
So just to clarify, he recorded something. That's all we know.
All right.
All right.
Then that means we need to
He's
go
the one who has
somewhere.
that mask on, right?
I think we need to go somewhere.
Man in the Iron Mask.
Where are we going?
Where?
Are we off to see the wizard?
Into the pit.
Into the
All right.
Yeah, no, we're going into the pit. This week I picked a nostalgia band for me. I'm throwing that word around. I picked a band called ARKAIK, with some pretty fun spelling. But that aside, pretty much they were a band that I listened to probably back in like freshman, sophomore year of high school. And I'm bad with labels, so I just want to say they're technical death metal and just call it that.
Is there anything you would think to compare it to if you had to?
That's the thing I love about them is they like depending on what song I'm listening to, it could something might remind me of like a Pantera-esque kind of feel, but then sometimes they'll get really.
Is it rhythmically consistent, or is it a little more
It's
chaotic?
like, all right, so they have a very nice balance of blast beats and then really just sweet riffs, and that's the thing I like about them, with some just brutal crushing vocals over top of everything. So I mean, you could throw a dartboard and you could probably find a band that sounds similar to them, but I like them. And when I found out that they're releasing a new album on the 30th, of which name I cannot remember.
Well, how about, I got another one. How
Wait.
about the riff styles? Are they like southern rock, metal?
Metal.
So it's
Metal. They're definitely metal riffs.
Okay.
You know.
Trying to
Yeah.
paint myself a picture.
I got you.
We're Northeast.
But yeah, no, they're just a good
Happy
band.
clouds.
They're ARKAIK. They are from California, 5-piece.
They're
and
archaic.
They're ARKAIK. That's why I forgot about them. I had to remember them. This whole, you know.
They're like
living-
Gandalf the Grey. So I'd like to make a quick interruption, because for the first time ever, I think I got feedback on an episode while we were shooting a show.
What?
So yes, my good friend Ben, who has been a consistent viewer, he's been with us from the first episode, makes it a weekly habit of watching our show.
Word.
Thanks, brother.
Made mention that he was kind of surprised that Between the Buried and Me didn't make any of our list. And yet, at the same time, not surprised, because there's so much great music out there that it's tough to remember enough albums to put into a top 5.
Holy shit.
Hey, I mean, again, that's why we're more than willing to do another one. But
If
And
the demand is there.
I have to say, Ben, I'm also kind of shocked.
Yeah.
I don't know how I missed that,
Shit.
especially
Yeah.
with Alaska
Yeah.
and
I was
Colors. Oh my God.
Colors and oh man, Alaska's first track.
As soon as we were done, I was upset I didn't put
almost-
Vancouver by Law Dispute on there.
I almost want to pull Children for. But all right, so the lists were made. Like I said,
Set in
I'd
stone.
Check
I'd
out-
love to do this
If you
again.
don't know what we're talking about, check out our last episode. We went over our top 5 metal albums.
Well, yeah, our island list.
Our Lonely Island, Stranded on Island.
Yeah, there is a difference. 'Cause I am
There
for-
is.
it might.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually very different. Lucid Dawn, by the way, is the name of the new ARKAIK album that is coming out yesterday.
Lovely. Thank you, Ben.
So, I listened to Wildernessking this week, and
Of course you fucking did.
yeah,
Of course you
no,
did.
mine.
I think this week we all went pretty much right back to where we're comfortable.
Yes, because obviously it's Wilderness King. Well, I like to think of myself as a Wilderness King.
Grow.
Here you go. Let's find out what this is about. So they're from, I believe it's Cape Town, South Africa. They
Sweet.
describe themselves as
Wait, they're from South Africa.
Yeah.
And they're singing about the White North. I mean, snowy White North. Of
I
course.
know, right?
Keep going. I'm sorry.
They describe themselves as
You
four
broke
friends
wrong.
getting together making music.
Okay.
So I was like, all right. As I start listening to it, starts off with some almost like atmospheric black metal. I'm like, ooh, okay, nice tremolo picking and all that. This is my kind of territory. Then it changes the game a bit and starts going into more like post rock sections. It is awesome. Like
Post.
I need to check this shit out.
you do.
Oh boy.
I would. This might be up there with now. Like next time I go camping, I want this. I want some headphones. I want to go hiking. It was slamming. They formed in I think 2011. The first album came out in like 2012, and still putting out albums. So
They're definitely of the group of black metal right now. Let's try and change the game a little
yes, which
bit. Add a little bit more ambience.
I'm about.
Word.
I really dig it. Wildernessking, check them out.
Wilderness King. I feel like a Wilderness King covered in fucking husky fur.
So this week I covered generally Knives Out. Everybody. This is a chaotic hardcore band out of France, and they're killing it. I mean, like.
Generally, is from France.
France. That's what I'm saying.
What do you want me to do about it?
God damn it, France. I can't even call racism on that.
I mean, they're obviously talking about Dukes of Hazzard or whatever.
Yeah.
You think?
Well, on their new CD, it's got.
Unless it's just a really bad pun for generally.
On their new CD, they've got the General Lee with General Lee with a lady with her splayed. It's cool.
What? I need to see this.
They've got an extensive discography.
Don't fap.
It's fucking strong. All the CDs are totally listenable.
Can't promise that.
Totally listenable.
Totally.
Totes.
No, this is Chaos Hardcore Volume
No.
7. They just put an album out this year. I would give it a listen if you like, the chaotic hardcore, like the Convergy, the Bled, Dillinger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Generally.
What'd you listen to?
I listened to Bleed the Pigs. Bleed the Pigs is fucking awesome. They're out of Nashville, Tennessee. It's tough to exactly place them because sort of how black metal is becoming very intertwined. So is the scene that they play in. You could call some of it power violence. Some of it even falls under sludge. You might want to call it hardcore. You might want to call it metal. It's generally that sort of. It's. Oh God! Here we fucking go.
This is gonna be a thing.
It's where a lot of the sort of crust and grindcore has gone nowadays. Very heavy. Some of it even wandering into harsh noise territory.
The power violence and stuff.
Yeah, oh God, Frank, if you haven't listened to them yet, it would take you about half an hour to listen through their whole discography.
I'll listen to it.
One of my personal favorites, though, they did a 2-track EP called Flowers in D Minor, and they're both Nirvana covers.
Huh.
Pretty wonderful. Pretty fucking wonderful. All of their shit is available on their Bandcamp. It's all free to download unless they've run out of free downloads for the month, in which case it's going to cost you $1. $1.
Oh, you can't get that Snickers
This is
bar.
one of those.
You're asking me for $1 now? It was free last
All
week.
you had was $1. You still couldn't get the fucking Snickers bar, you piece of shit.
Yeah. We're saving for next week.
But
Zombie generally. That's some good album art. I'm sorry.
they're
Oh, you like it?
I like it. I like it. It's classy. She's pointing a gun at you too.
Bleed the Pigs is one of those bands that really deserves attention right now. So fucking go listen to them.
Okay.
You won't be upset.
Do the thing.
All right. Hold on.
How drunk are you,
Fucking
lady?
tours. Phil, I am the liquor.
I am the liquor.
All right.
I drank
So,
the liquor.
At the
made the
gates,
liquor.
At the gates.
haunted and decapitated.
Tom, do you know of another band named The Haunted that is? Do you think that's the band from Magfest? Like video game style tribute music?
No.
That might no.
No,
Yeah.
because there's a band that shows up every year at Magfest called like
Only
The
the
Haunted or
best
something.
in journalism.
I was curious because like Power Glove will show up every once in a while with like power metal bands and stuff.
Oh.
But At the Gates, love At the
That's-
Gates.
Yeah, that's a good. Clutch is gonna be coming or it's going on tour.
Late 2015.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
word?
Clutch is high school for me. That's another old high school band.
Clutch is pretty fucking clutch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clutch was a band that the way I discovered them was, you know how when you're younger and aunts or uncles around Christmas time get you gifts
Mm-hmm.
and you see them get you a CD and you're like, you don't know what I listen to. Therefore, you just assume anything.
That's not a bad choice.
My
if
aunt
someone
sent-
rips you a Clutch album.
And that's what happened. I was like, Clutch, what the hell is this? I put it in, I was like, oh, well, all right, uncle.
You know, it's funny. They're one of those bands that I feel like people who have a parent who's into good music, that's how they find out about Clutch. It's always like an uncle or a dad or so, like.
My uncle's not into good music.
In
But-
my case, it was actually Viva La Bam.
Oh, hey,
They did like a weird. They went to like a ski resort or something like that and had Clutch playing at the finish line.
they exposed people to a lot of great music
yeah.
that they
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
be aware of otherwise.
Like-
So,
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater helped define my musical taste.
oh, dude, I still fucking love the soundtrack to those games.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Oh, son of a bitch! I was gonna say something.
You said
Something
it 4
something Dark
times.
Side
Tits.
are nice. We're doing word association, right? Yeah.
We were talking about Clutch.
We're talking about
So-
toys.
oh yes. So your uncle sent you a Clutch CD. My aunt sent me a copy of Black and Blue by the Backstreet Boys.
Oh,
Oh shit, bro.
that
Oh,
shit is
shit.
so heavy.
So fucking heavy, it'll leave you black and blue.
You have sisters? Did
Yes.
presents get mixed up?
No.
God, I'm sorry.
Yeah, she got a Korn album that year. Trying freak on a leash that year.
Got dying fetus. Dying fetus.
Oh god.
I know you like the blast beats, honey.
So our boys from the area are putting on a show December 18th at Harper's. That's going to be Sunbather, Maggot Mouth, Descent, Garland Green, Stories of Living, and Rich People. And I just found out, or they just updated their page, whichever. This is going to be a clothing drive. So
Oh, cool.
the more kids' clothes you can get, I think that's what they're looking for.
Oh,
That's a cause I can get behind. So,
That's awesome.
root through your shit, throw some clothes out.
yeah. You're not wearing it, right?
No.
Go
I like to
nudist.
try and weird people
Yeah.
out.
Free the nipple.
What else is going on?
Parkway is going on tour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Parkway
see
Drive.
these.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, these two.
These guys are dicks.
So
Parkway Drive is
unenthused.
going on tour, and that's good news. Something else I wanted to say.
I don't know, their new album.
ARKAIK reminds me of what Parkway Drive would be if they were awesome. So, like Parkway Drive, I'm not. They're
But
good. They're good, but they're not.
But I don't want. I'm not. When I listen to them, I'm not looking for.
I know what you're
technical.
saying. Imagine if you were listening to a version of them that did.
I like their simplicity.
Either way, it's almost an insult though. Me saying that because the ARKAIK is just so good though.
If I was Parkway Drive, I'd be insulted, but I'm not. So that's fine.
So, is that
Yeah.
all we got?
Yeah.
I know there's stuff going on, but I can't remember any of it right now. So
Of course you can.
Well, you're gonna see Shai Hulud when this episode drops, and then they're gonna be back around December 18th.
yes, with
Which is
All
the
Out
same
War.
night.
As
As
for
always,
But
nothing but the finest in journalism and research integrity. We are from the pit.
Good night, ladies.